Forget the usual suspects. While global headlines fixate on the big players, a seismic shift is happening beneath the surface, and almost no one is talking about it. Nations across Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America are quietly, but powerfully, drawing inspiration from an unlikely source, the Philippines. Yes, the Philippines, often an afterthought in international discourse, is fast becoming a silent architect of global strategy. They aren't shouting their admiration from the rooftops, but they are meticulously taking notes. From economic resilience and diplomatic agility to cultural breakthroughs and digital leaps, the world is beginning to pay very close attention. What's the secret? What exactly are they replicating? And why the hushed imitation? In this video, we pull back the curtain on 10 potent strategies the Philippines is deploying right now. Strategies so effective, other nations are observing, imitating, and even attempting to claim as their own. The answers will surprise and profoundly illuminate. Number 1. The power of overseas workers and remittances. Oh, you want the truth? You want the raw, uncomfortable, shut up and listen truth? Good. Because here it comes, and it's gonna slap harder than your nanazed sinilas flying across the room. Let's talk about overseas Filipino workers. Yeah, the TFWs. The walking, talking economic lifelines of the Philippines. You know them. Your cousin in Dubai. Your auntie in Canada. That neighbor who magically builds a 3-story house after 5 years in Saudi while you're still asking your mom for load. Yeah, them. You know what pisses me off? We glorify them when it's convenient, throw them a salute to modern heroes on National Migrant Workers Day, and then forget they even exist when the remittance hits our banks. Hypocritical much? Let's stop pretending this was ever about opportunity. This whole OFW thing? It's a survival tactic. It's a damn economic escape hatch. You think Maria from Visayas wanted to clean rich people's toilets in Riyadh for 12 hours a day just for fun? No. She did it because her family back home was literally one typhoon away from sleeping under a tarp. And yet, $38.34 billion came pouring into the country in 2024. That's not remittance, that's rescue money. That's how your neighbor has Wi-Fi now. That's how your friend's kid got braces. And guess what? March 2025? Boom. Record high again. You can't even commit to your New Year's resolution, but they're out here consistently keeping your economy alive. Meanwhile, the Philippine government? Applauding them like they're rock stars, while building an entire national policy on the back of their sacrifices. Thanks for the billions. Now go smile for the press photos and get back on that plane. It's wild, bro. Other countries are catching on. Nepal, Bangladesh, Kenya, they're not just watching, they're taking notes. Copying our blueprint. Because when your local economy is a hot mess, exporting people becomes the most profitable industry. It's like turning heartbreak into hard cash. And don't even get me started on people who look down on OFWs. Oh really? You're laughing at the girl cleaning homes in Toronto while you can't even clean your own damn room? Sit down. You're living on money that smells like homesickness and sweat. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. The Philippines isn't just powered by OFWs, it's propped up by them. Without them, the system collapses. Period. So next time you hear someone say, she's just a domestic helper, I want you to look them dead in the eye and say, and she pays more taxes than you do, Kevin. Now buckle up, because if you think that was heavy, wait till you hear how the Philippines is hacking the global digital economy. Oh yeah, it gets even juicier. Stay tuned. Number 2. Leveraging English proficiency for economic growth. Let's get brutally honest here. The Philippines didn't just get lucky with English fluency. This isn't some colonial souvenir we dusted off and paraded around. This was weaponized, mastered, engineered into a full-blown economic superweapon. And while most countries are still fumbling with Google Translate, we've built a $40 billion BPO empire off our tongue. But let's backtrack for a second. Ever worked in a call center? No? Then sit down and let me enlighten you. Because people love to mock these workers. Oh, they just answer phones. Right. And you just sit on your phone complaining about Wi-Fi speeds your taxes didn't even help fund. Those just phone answerers. They're solving tech problems for Karen in Kentucky, calming down screaming customers in Queens, and handling data for Fortune 500 companies while eating adobo on their lunch break. What are you doing? Complaining about traffic and reposting memes? The Philippine BPO industry isn't a side hustle. It's the hustle. It employs nearly 2 million people full-time. By 2028, that's headed for 2.5 million. And it's not just Press One for English anymore. We're running IT systems, legal processes, animation studios, and healthcare back-end systems. We're writing blog posts for dentists in Denver and managing the back-end of entire apps you scroll through daily. Let me throw this at you. YEF English Proficiency Index, Philippines, ranked 2nd in Asia, 22nd globally. That's not just high. That's read Shakespeare, explain it to a 12-year-old, and sell it as a TikTok trend level of fluency. Filipinos aren't just speaking English, they're living it. Watching Friends, quoting The Office, and writing emails that make native speakers double-check their grammar. And now let's talk about Alex. A dude who grew up watching Pirates of the Caribbean with no subtitles, fell in love with storytelling, and now runs a team of 30 in a major BPO firm. He didn't get there because of luck. He got there because he turned fluency into firepower. And yeah, now he's the one upgrading his parents' house and paying his sister's tuition, while some of you are still figuring out how to finish your second-year thesis. Again. Meanwhile, countries like Indonesia and Vietnam are trying, bless their hearts. But let's call it what it is. They're still stuck in low proficiency zones. Indonesia ranks 74th globally. Vietnam? 63rd. That's adorable. They've got talent, no doubt. But no amount of coding bootcamps is going to fix your workforce stuttering through, thank you for calling. English fluency is the cheat code. And the Philippines? We didn't just unlock it, we built a whole damn business model around it. So before you roll your eyes at someone saying ma'am on a headset in the middle of the night, remember, they're funding this economy, paying your taxes, and building careers off skill, not pity. You think that's just a job? That's nation building, baby. Now go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this English edge will last forever? Or will another country eventually catch up? Because the next strategy? Oh, it's even more cunning. Soft power like you've never seen it. Stay locked in. 3. A strategic diplomatic balancing act. Oh, you think foreign policy is all cocktails, press photos, and vague smiles at global summits? Wake up. For the Philippines, diplomacy isn't some tea party. It's a high-stakes poker game where every card could be your last. And guess what? We're playing it like absolute pros. Let me break it down for you. The Philippines is stuck between two titanic egos, China and the US, and both are pulling hard. It's like having two overbearing titos fighting at Christmas dinner over who gets to feed you lechon first. One brings the security blanket, the other brings the money. You tell me, how do you pick? But here's where it gets beautiful, we didn't pick. We're playing both. Masterfully. On the one hand, we've got the US with its decades-old mutual defense treaty. Yes, the one that says if we get punched, they might show up. We've now expanded EDCA sites to 9 strategic locations. That's like giving your bigger kuya the house keys when the neighborhood gets sketchy. Why? Because Chinese ships keep blasting our boats with water cannons like it's an anime filler episode. Second Thomas Shoal isn't a game, it's a frontline, and we need backup that actually bites. But then, surprise, China's still our top trading partner. In 2023, they shipped us over $52 billion worth of goods. That's not I forgot your birthday energy. That's you better not mess this up energy. And in April 2025, 30% of our total imports came from China. You don't spit in the face of the person you're buying 1/3 of your groceries from. Unless you like starving. And I don't. So what do? We play the game. We smile, shake hands, keep one eye on the check, the other on the South China Sea. Like President Marcos Jr. said, build bridges, not walls. And yeah, it sounds like a Hallmark card, but in this case, it's deadly accurate. You think this is weak? That neutrality is cowardice? No. It's survival. You know who's paying attention? Vietnam and Cambodia. They're watching our every move like kids peeking during poker night. Vietnam just signed 45 agreements with China in April 2025, while also cozying up to Uncle Sam. That's not betrayal, that's balance. Cambodia's been Beijing's golden child for years, but now they're sniffing around Vietnam's backyard looking for a fresh breath. Why? Because they've seen what happens when you lean too far to one side, you fall. And let me tell you about Sophia, our fictional but absolutely real-to-life young diplomat. She walks into that ministry every day like she's defusing a bomb. She's got Chinese aggression on her desk, American war drills on her calendar, and economic reports flashing red in her inbox. But she does the job. Not by picking fights, but by strategically not picking them. You think that's easy? You try telling two superpowers yes, but also no without getting bulldozed. This is what geopolitical finesse looks like. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's survival wrapped in strategy. It's why the Philippines hasn't burned a single bridge but is still marching forward, one chess move at a time. So go ahead, sound off in the comments. Can smaller nations actually stay neutral? Or is this just another way of playing favorites with better PR? Because trust me, the next strategy? It's not just smart. It's damn seductive. The kind of influence that doesn't need force, just Filipino culture quietly taking over the world. Don't. Mississippi. It. Number 4. Promoting culture through soft power. Alright, listen up, because we need to talk. Not the sugar-coated, polite, isn't that nice kind of talk. I mean the real talk, the kind your Lola gives you when you screw up your life and try to blame the neighbor's cat. Let's rip the band-aid off. The Philippines isn't just dancing its way into global relevance. It's shoving culture down the world's throat, and they're loving every second of it. And if you don't see how powerful that is, congratulations. You're sleeping through a revolution wearing barong pajamas. You ever wonder why people in Sweden suddenly know how to pronounce Sinigang better than Schwarzenegger? It's not luck. It's not some government-funded Marvel movie starring a Filipino superhero, though hey Marvel, call us. It's soft power, baby. And we are killing it. Let's start with the obvious. Dance trends. If you've been on TikTok longer than 5 minutes, you've already done a Filipino dance without realizing it. Ting ting tang tang. That wasn't just a trend. That was a cultural ambush. And don't even get me started on Gento. You've got dentists in Ohio doing that choreo in between root canals. Meanwhile, you're at home, still debating whether Jollibee is fast food or religion. Oh, and the beauty pageants? Say what you want, but Filipinas don't compete, they dominate. For Miss Universe crowns. 6 Miss International. Atisa Manalo just strutted into 2025 like it was her destiny. And it was. This isn't vanity, it's branding. It's PR wrapped in a tiara. Every time they walk that stage, they're telling the world, this is what grace looks like. This is what we represent. Bow. And here's the kicker, no one planned this. This isn't some master strategy from a dusty office in Manila. This is grassroots warfare. It's Sarah in Canada with her little YouTube cooking channel blowing up because she made lechon look like Michelin star cuisine. It's Filipinos throwing adobo nights in Toronto, Buenos Aires, and Tokyo like it's Noche Buena year-round. And guess what? Non-Filipinos are showing up. They're dancing, eating, laughing, and falling in love with our culture without even realizing they're being soft-powered into submission. And while we're on food, adobo is a weapon of mass deliciousness. You think it's just vinegar and soy sauce? Wrong. It's generational trauma, joy, poverty, and pride simmered for 3 hours on low heat. One bite, and suddenly someone in New York is Googling flights to Cebu. Meanwhile, countries like Nigeria and Mexico are taking notes. Nigeria's got Afrobeats. Mexico's got tacos and Day of the Dead. They're flexing hard, and rightly so, but they're starting to realize what we've already mastered. Your people are your strategy. The diaspora isn't just sending remittances, they're exporting identity. You want real influence? Stop begging for seats at summits and start flooding the globe with karaoke machines, lechon, and unbreakable joy. So let me ask you, are you sleeping on your culture? Or are you using it to kick open global doors? The comments are open. Share the story of your culture, the good, the funny, the weird, and let's make this more than a trend. And don't even think about scrolling away, because the next strategy? It's where the Philippines proves it's not just dancing and dining, it's dominating digitally in a way that'll blow your mind. Stay put. Alright, sit down and open your eyes, because this next part? It's not just a strategy. It's a wake-up slap in the face. Strategy number 5, how the Philippines became a tourism powerhouse. Without needing a damn billion-dollar budget. Now before you roll your eyes and say, oh great, another beach video with ukuleles and drone shots, let me stop you right there. This ain't Maldives with a tan. This is marketing warfare on a shoestring budget, and we're winning. You know what the Philippines did instead of wasting millions on polished ads featuring some guy doing yoga on a volcano? They let you sell it. That's right, every backpacker, vlogger, grandma with a GoPro, and Tita with a selfie stick became the unofficial ambassador of this country. Why? Because of one genius little line. It's more fun in the Philippines. That slogan wasn't written by some overpriced ad agency in New York. It was written by life. By you nearly drowning in a banka boat because your tour guide thought safety was optional. By you hiking 3 hours uphill in flip-flops because some kid said, it's just near. By you eating ballot at 2 a.m. and regretting nothing. And here's the kicker, it worked. Foreign tourist arrivals jumped 16% in just 1 quarter. Global ad agencies were shook. The Department of Tourism didn't need a Super Bowl ad. They had Sarah from Manchester, who posted grainy iPhone pics of Palawan's lagoons with a hashtag it's more fun in the Philippines. And suddenly, her whole friend group booked flights. Sarah wasn't a marketer. She was broke. And authentic. That's why she was unstoppable. Compare that to the billions flushed down by other countries on CGI videos of smiling models pretending to enjoy $20 coconut drinks. You know what's more powerful than a scripted commercial? A real tourist crying because the sunset at El Nido hit harder than their last relationship. That's what sells. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka and Laos are scrambling to copy the blueprint. And who can blame them? Sri Lanka's trying to claw its way back post-crisis with raw travel content. Laos is pushing social media like crazy with their Lao Thayo Lao campaign, because they realize something important. Authenticity beats glossy lies. Every single time. Let's talk numbers. $100 billion projected tourism revenue for the Philippines in 2025. 21% of GDP. And all this, without needing a Visit Us or Else campaign on CNN. That's not luck. That's the power of letting your people, your real people, do the storytelling. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Your country probably isn't doing this because you're too scared to let go of control. You still think tourists want scripted luxury. They don't. They want chaos. They want real. They want the raw, unfiltered fun that comes with being thrown into a karaoke battle with strangers who treat you like family. So here's my question to you. Have you been brainwashed by overproduced tourism lies? Or do you still believe the best recommendations come from real people with dirt under their nails and sand in their shoes? Drop your truth in the comments. Tell us, have you ever booked a trip because of a friend's post, not an ad? And don't blink. Our final strategy is coming. And trust me, it's digital, it's disruptive, and it's about to make your jaw hit the floor. 6. Embracing the gig economy and freelancing. So now everyone's talking about the gig economy like it's the next big thing? Buddy, where have you been the last 10 years? Hibernating in a cave with no Wi-Fi? Because the Philippines? They've been running this game quietly while the rest of the world was still figuring out how to format a PDF. Let's talk facts. The West keeps whining about inflation, layoffs, AI replacing jobs. Meanwhile, a single mom in Cebu is juggling 3 Upwork clients, teaching herself SEO between toddler tantrums, and still delivering polished spreadsheets like it's child's play. Let me say it loud, the real global workforce is no longer in shiny glass offices. It's in pajamas, in small provincial homes, logged into Fiverr at 2 a.m. with a strong cup of Kapeng Barako. And guess who's leading this revolution? Yeah, the Filipinos. Now, here's the part most folks won't say out loud. Companies love hiring Filipinos. Why? Because they get Harvard-level English communication with zero ego, plus loyalty, plus 5-star customer service, plus the occasional good morning pa sir. Charm for a fraction of the cost. It's not exploitation, it's efficiency. And don't come at me with that moral high ground nonsense if you've ever paid $5 for a logo. The gig economy is not a backup plan anymore. It's the main road, and the Philippines built a damn freeway on it. Payoneer ranked them number 1 among the fastest-growing freelance economies. Let that sink in. Not the US, not Canada, not Germany. The Philippines. Over 1.5 million digital hustlers. And no, we're not talking about MLM boss babes. We're talking real skills. Bookkeeping, copywriting, coding, customer service. All done remotely, all done better. You want a real story? Clara. She got laid off during the pandemic. Heartbroken? Sure. But instead of crying into her karaoke mic, she taught herself virtual assistants. Now she earns more than her old job ever paid her, and she never has to put on uncomfortable pants again. She gets to raise her daughter, manage international clients, and live life on her terms. That's not a side hustle. That's a power move. Meanwhile, governments in Latin America and Africa are still in task force meeting mode, trying to figure out how to copy this model. Nigeria's got their digital hustlers, Colombia's seeing the light. But the Philippines? They're already on version 3.0 of this playbook. This isn't just work. It's liberation. It's the death of the commute, the middle manager, the water cooler fake laughs. It's proof that you don't need a corner office to change your life. You need Wi-Fi, willpower, and a well-written Upwork bio. So here's my challenge to you. Are you part of this revolution? Or are you still sitting there romanticizing 9-to-5s and pretending that job security is still a thing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know, have you freelanced? Hired one? Are you scared of the future, or are you building it? And don't go anywhere. Because the final strategy coming up, it's going to blow your socks off, even if you're already barefoot. Number 7. Digital banking and financial inclusion. So now you think swiping left and right is only for dating apps? Wake up. Because in the Philippines, swiping up on GCash just saved a whole generation from financial extinction. You hear that sound? That's the death rattle of old-school banking. And guess who's dancing on its grave? Every single Filipino with a smartphone and zero patience for paperwork. Let's cut the fluff. For decades, banks acted like VIP clubs with velvet ropes. Don't have 2 valid IDs, proof of billing, and a blood sample from your grandmother? Sorry, no account for you. Meanwhile, hard-working folks like Mang Tonio, the soul of the economy, were hiding pesos under mattresses, praying rats didn't get there before the landlord did. Then came GCash. Boom. Suddenly, everyone from college kids to Carinderia owners became their own financial managers. You don't need a fancy degree, a briefcase, or a face that screams trust fund baby. All you need? A phone with a cracked screen and enough signal to scan a QR code. That's it. Let's talk numbers, since the suits love that. In 2021, only 23% of adult Filipinos had a bank account. 23%. That's barely 1 out of 4. But by 2024, that shot up to 56%, thanks to mobile-first apps. That's not progress, that's a damn miracle with LTE. GCash now has over 60 million users. You know what that means? That means more people use GCash than voted in some countries. And Maya? They're not playing backup either. They've got millions too, offering not just transfers, but savings, loans, bills, crypto. That's not just an e-wallet, that's a pocket-sized bank, therapist, and financial advisor in one. Now here's the kicker. Old banks had decades to solve this, and they failed, miserably. Meanwhile, a teenage girl with a GCash account can now send money to her Lola, pay for load, and buy milk tea all in 5 minutes while lying in bed in her pambahay. That's power. And you want to know what it really is? Inclusion. Not the fake kind with PR campaigns. Real inclusion that fits in your hand. And other countries? Oh, they're watching like jealous exes stalking your Instagram. Nigeria's banks are scrambling. Pakistan's got GCash now trying to catch up. Indonesia? They're pushing hard too, but let's be real. The Philippines already wrote the playbook. Everyone else is photocopying it. Let's bring it home. If you're still walking to a bank, waiting in line, filling out forms with a pen that doesn't work, what are you doing? It's 2025. Your bank is now an app. Your branch manager? A chatbot. Your wallet? Gone. Your money? Smarter than ever. So tell me, are you adapting, or are you still clinging to the past like a Nokia 3310? Drop your hot takes in the comments. Do you use GCash, Maya, GCash, PayPal, piggy banks? Let's talk. And don't you dare leave, because what's next? Our final strategy? It's so damn clever, you'll want to slap your forehead and shout, why didn't I think of that? Stay tuned. Number 8. Resilience through community-based disaster response. Alright, sit the hell down and listen. Because if you think resilience is just some cute word motivational speakers slap on mugs, you're part of the problem. Let's talk about the Philippines, a country that doesn't just deal with disasters. It survives 20 of them a year and still manages to smile through broken windows and flooded bedrooms. You call that normal? I call that superhuman. Typhoons, earthquakes, volcanoes. Nature throws everything it's got at this country like it's in some sick, twisted relationship. And yet, the people? They don't wait for the government. They don't cry on Twitter waiting for aid. They move. They organize. They survive. While some countries need a full press conference just to announce a flood warning, Filipinos have already evacuated, cooked arroz caldo, and are charging power banks with car batteries. You know why? Bayanihan. It's not just a word, it's a damn superpower. It's the reason Aling Nina and her entire coastal village didn't lose a single life when Typhoon Christine hit. Not because of some billion-dollar weather satellite, but because they trusted each other more than politicians. Her barangay captain didn't wait for a mayor's speech. He rolled up his sleeves, rallied the troops, and turned that village into a damn fortress. That's not aid. That's family in action. Let's talk real-world results. In 2024, when 6 typhoons hit back-to-back, the rest of the world would have been on life support. But in the Philippines? They're mopping floors by morning and singing karaoke by night. And the government? Late, like usual. But the people? First responders. Engineers. Cooks. Therapists. And sometimes, human jet skis. And here's the part that makes me mad. You've got governments in wealthier countries scrambling to design AI-powered drones to deliver bottled water. Meanwhile, Filipino teens are out here organizing rescue squads with a prepaid SIM card and a group chat. That's the truth. You don't need fancy gear, you need people who give a damn. People who show up. People who carry your Lola through waist-deep water because it's what neighbors do. Now countries like Indonesia and Bangladesh are taking notes. Finally. Because they've realized what the suits and ties have been ignoring for decades. Resilience doesn't come from million-dollar budgets. It comes from trust. From unity. From knowing that when the roof blows off, your neighbor's already got extra nails and a tarp waiting. So yeah, I'm angry. Angry that the people most affected by climate change are the ones least responsible for it. Angry that the real heroes never make the news. And angry that some of you watching this still think survival is about government funding instead of community effort. Now tell me, when the storm comes, and it will, do you trust your government to save you? Or your neighbor? Let's hear your stories. Have you ever been saved by your community? Or been the one doing the saving? Drop it in the comments, because this conversation matters. And don't you dare click off. Our next strategy will flip your brain inside out. It's about Filipino innovation that spits in the face of conventional development. You'll never look at developing countries the same way again. Stay locked in. Number 9. Investing in youth-centered programs. Let me say this loud enough for every boomer still hogging the mic. Get out of the way. This is the era of young blood, and the Philippines? They're finally doing something that every country talks about but rarely delivers, putting the youth in charge. And no, I don't mean giving them free pizza for volunteering at some climate rally. I'm talking real power. Budgets. Elected seats. Influence. Sangguniang Kabataan Baby, a national system where 18 to 24-year-olds run entire village programs with 10% of the local government's budget. That's not symbolic. That's not tokenism. That's revolutionary. Meanwhile, in other countries, youth are treated like overgrown toddlers. You're the future, they say, right before they hand us a brochure, a juice box, and zero decision-making power. We're stuck doing TikToks while Uncle Pol Politico screws up the budget again. But in the Philippines? You've got kids leading digital literacy workshops, organizing mental health drives, launching community gardens, and yes, teaching their grandparents how to use GCash. Let's be real, if you've ever tried explaining QR codes to a tita with bifocals, you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. Let me tell you about Carlo. He joined the SK because, let's be honest, he thought it would look good on a resume. And then boom. One workshop, one community garden later, the guy's out here running his barangay like a startup. He's making change, not memes. That's leadership. That's what happens when you give youth a damn chance instead of just quoting Gandhi at graduation. Now, before anyone says, but isn't SK corrupt sometimes? Yeah. So is literally every institution on Earth. Your Wi-Fi is corrupt. Your HOA is corrupt. Your uncle who borrowed 5,000 Cuban pesos in 2009 is corrupt. But that's not a reason to kill youth governance. That's a reason to fix it and let them lead better. And it's not just the Philippines waking up. Nigeria's got a youth bomb ticking under its economy. Over 60% under 30, but jobless, underpaid, and unheard. They're scrambling now, rolling out things like Genu 9J, Naya gigs, and entrepreneurial boot camps. And good. Because if they don't fix this, they're going to have a revolution. Or worse, a population of 100 million bored young adults. That's how TikTok was born, probably. India too, world's largest youth population. But it's not enough to shout demographic dividend at a summit. They're investing with national youth policies, leadership camps, digital programs, trying to catch up. But here's the tea, the Philippines did it first. And they did it at scale. This isn't a nice to have. This is survival. Invest in your youth, or get buried by your future. Now you watching this. Are youth in your country being empowered? Or are they still being told to wait their turn by people who've been turning in circles since 1984? Comment below. Speak up. Because if young people don't raise their voice now, someone older will keep speaking for them. And don't move an inch, because next up, Strategy 10. The one so wild, so genius, it makes the rest of this series look like the opening act. Trust me, your jaw's gonna hit the floor. Let's go. Number 10. Turning social media into a global influence tool. You think social media is just for scrolling, stalking your ex, or posting selfies with your breakfast. Think again. The Philippines turned that digital jungle into a full-blown weapon of mass influence. While most countries are still figuring out how to log in, the Filipino people are out here rewriting the damn algorithm. One meme, one vlog, one dance challenge at a time. Let's break it down. As of 2025, 78% of the entire Philippine population is online. That's 90.8 million humans scrolling, posting, selling, influencing, and doing it better than half the world combined. You ever wonder how half the viral TikTok trends started with someone named Adwana Moves or Epabot Kicks? That's not a coincidence. That's strategy, baby. Now here's where I get pissed, because no one takes this seriously. You've got people still laughing like, oh, Filipinos are just addicted to TikTok. No. They're building global audiences, micro-businesses, and full-on empires with a damn smartphone and a ring light. You think that's addiction? No, my friend, that's digital Darwinism. Adapt or scroll out of relevance. Take Ken, for example. My man was in his Manila bedroom, broke, bored, and probably dodging tsinelas from his mom. But he had hustle. So he started posting funny videos while printing shirts. Next thing you know, he's shipping orders to LA, London, and Lisbon. And you? Still deciding whether to start a YouTube channel or not because you're waiting for the right time. Please. Ken made 6 figures while you were perfecting your caption for that sunset selfie. Meanwhile, other countries are finally waking up. Nigeria, loud, creative, overflowing with digital talent, is catching on fast. They're seeing what Filipinos are doing and saying, wait, we can run this game too. And they're right. Because in today's world, you don't need missiles or megabanks to influence. You need Wi-Fi, authenticity, and a damn good hook. Brazil, Colombia, Mexico? They're realizing that cultural soft power lives in reels, not embassies. That trust isn't built in boardrooms, it's built in comment sections. And guess who's been doing that since Friendster days? Filipinos. While your government is still hiring consultants to figure out digital youth outreach, Lola is already live on Facebook selling Pantsit with 3 filters and 12K views. Let's be real, the Philippines doesn't just use social media. It owns it. Soft power? Check. Tourism? Boosted by YouTube vlogs. Disaster relief? Organized through Facebook groups. E-commerce? Handled by people live streaming from sorry stores. This is what digital nation building looks like. So here's my message. If you're watching this and still think social media is just for fun, wake up. You're standing on a gold mine and calling it dirt. Influence isn't a Western monopoly anymore. It's been hijacked by a karaoke singing, Wi-Fi maxing, content slinging nation, and it's beautiful. Now tell me, is your country even in this race? Or are you just playing catch-up while the Philippines rewrites the playbook? Drop your honest take in the comments. And hit subscribe, because if you thought this was wild, wait until you see what we're dropping next. The world's changing, and if you're not loud, fast, or funny, you're invisible. Game over. The internet belongs to the islands now.